Hello there. You're probably watching this to, well, learn how to be a furry VTuber, like kind of how I'm doing things. Well, primarily, I use VR chat for this sort of thing. I am trying to work on like a actual like desktop VTuber model soon. That's besides the point. So, anyways, here are some like basic tips and things that I do that help me to kind of get where I am. Um, and I know this video is being made by like a much smaller creator, but sometimes bigger creators telling you how to be a VTuber or a furry one in this case, it doesn't exactly help because how they got to where they were is way different compared to what you're going to do. So don't follow what someone else tells you. Do what kind of works for you in this case, is kind of the first thing that I'm getting at here. So one of those things is one of the biggest things, and I see this so often, is putting on like this kind of fake-ish personality when your camera turns on. Like what I've seen is like these creators will just get all happily and bubbly and overjoyed and like more all fanboy like, and it's just like, what are you doing? Just be you, please. And you're probably wondering why I'm saying this. And it's because when people are kind of watching like a creator, they're most likely looking for their actual personality along with their content. I mean, unless you're not, but a majority of my audience is like, faking it is not how I do things. Yeah, the whole fake it till you make it thing doesn't work well. At least in a lot of cases. For some people it works, but it's slim. It's so slim. So one of those things is just literally don't put on a mask. Like just do not. Literally just be yourself. It works a lot better. And I know the whole be yourself thing when they hear it is pretty basic, but like you really don't realize that you have a slight shift when you hit the record button, like in how you in this case speak or like think a little bit differently. When it comes to speaking, you intentionally make yourself try to sound a little more pleasant. If you haven't noticed, like it's literally what I'm doing right now. Like when I stop recording, I sound pretty much the same. But when I'm recording, try to make my voice just that little bit better. It's kind of a thing that you'll experience as a content creator, or in this case, the YouTuber voice. That is a thing that'll happen over time. You might think you can avoid it, but it's just not really the case. Yeah. Also, another one of the thing is I wanted to tell you is I don't script my videos. Scripting can usually help with a lot of videos, but me personally, I don't really script them. But this isn't really like what I'm mentioning. Really isn't like a how-to kind of thing. It's just how I do things. And also what I'm kind of telling you is you don't need a script for everything. Like this video is off the top of my head, everything that I can like think of. But not again. But yeah, from a lot of things that I've seen, a lot of things that I know, at least, like I'm not just gonna go and not do this video with like mention things that I don't have any research on. Like that's just dumb. I'm gonna tell you guys what I know. So, now when it comes to me starting as a content creator or for a VTuber, you want to have some sort of character or something that represents you, right? Or unless you just don't. Usually a first video idea would be, introducing yourself. Like I think that's obvious. I don't know, maybe showing off your character or something that you created or what you're going to develop in the future or what your plan on the platform actually is. For me, it's just to do what I like, yep, on the internet. For you, it could be something a lot more than what I'm trying to do, or something like way different or in a completely different league. I'm not really too sure. I don't can't really predict you guys like that. Um, but you know, once you have your channel kind of like started, you would usually kind of sit there for a minute. Like, what do I upload? What do I actually want to do? And when you go record your video, you're like super nervous right after you post it, which is a thing that happens to almost everybody. It happened to me. um, but yeah, there are a lot of things that can happen to said creator once they start uploading. And what I'm also going to mention here, which like something that people aren't going to like, and I know this, when they say, "Oh, anybody can make videos," or "Anybody can upload," or "Anybody can start a channel," YouTube is not for everybody, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. And I'm not saying that to the viewer watching the video right now. Like, I'm not going to say, it's not for you. No, I'm saying at least give it a try first. But content creation, it's really not for everybody. Some people just don't have the appropriate mindset, or they have their own behavior issues. Like, one of the things that don't help is having a large ego. That's a red flag. Pretty big red flag. Another one of those is anger issues. Can get you into a lot of controversies if you don't have like someone that can kind of help you with that. And I've seen it from time to time, someone just kind of snapping on someone in stream, and then oops, they're in a controversy because they have anger issues. So for those kind of groups, I wouldn't recommend it at all. And one more, if the numbers, like I've noticed this too, the numbers getting to people's heads, like once they have like 100, 200, 300 subs, they start treating everyone like they're nothing. And this actually happened to one of my friends a while ago, who was actually no longer my friends because of it. And lo and behold, with more subs than him. Strange. Now, I started my channel around the time he kind of started his. I was, kind of doing my thing, goofing around, like I usually do. Over time, he was kind of doing something similar, but kind of like his own. And oh, geez, voice crack. In his own sort of league. And I noticed, like, as he hit like 100 subs, his behavior towards me kind of shifted. And then as he started like getting more subs, he just kept becoming more and more of an asshole. And I'm like, what's your deal? What did I do to you? And it's because I had less subs than him. It was so weird. That's like literally all what it boiled down to. And dealing with this, it was very odd when you see it firsthand. And then over time, I started to overtake his channel in numbers, and he didn't like that all that much, I'll tell you that. And then, things kind of got worse for him. Not really for me. I just kind of ended up blocking the guy. But yeah, another kind of lesson is when you're around those people, the block button exists for a reason, and content creation is not for everybody. I know the topic kind of shifted a little bit, but if you're still here, thanks. But yeah, that's like, it's really not for everyone. You can try, but if you see too many issues, then maybe it's time to hang up the hat a little bit early. I know a lot of people are not going to like the sound of that, but I don't like lying and being super enthusiastic and having all this poppy editing saying, wow, you can do this, and then do this, and then give you a very vague explanation of how everything works. No, I'm here to tell you how it really works. It's hard. It takes some time. You're not going to get like to 500K in a year. It's not how it works, unless you're some person who makes really good videos. But even people who make really good videos still struggle. Not how it works. But yeah, I would say if you want to have a longer lasting like career, don't fake it. Be yourself. Be legit. Have complete honest interactions with your audience. they'll love you for it. And also try not to be an asshole. Like, because this is something I personally experienced myself. Not really me just being an asshole to people in general, because I'm not really like that. But I'll have this thing where if I'm around too many like loud sounds or like a lot of people in general, I'll kind of start to get a little bit more grumpy and just be a little bit more snappy, which I've learned to get like a little bit better with. And the way I did that was by cutting down the amount of people that are in my spaces, because if you're the content creator, you're in control. You own the channel. You have a say in what happens. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Or just block the people or mute them. Simple as that. Now, this is more on the VR chat side. As for more online things, you can take mostly the same measures because it exists for a reason. But, yeah. That's pretty much, like, what I have in terms of beginning and, you know, going on forward. You know, just have fun. Do things that make you feel happy. Even if you're not trying to make a whole career out of it. Even if you want to do this just because, you know, just to give you something to do, just to give you something to kind of tinker on during the day. Because at the end of the day, this stuff shouldn't be taken too seriously. You're in this for you and your audience and having fun. And if there's anything else that's kind of in the middle that's negative, maybe you shouldn't do this. Like, because mind you, I see a lot of people with like a lot of controversies and they just don't hang up the hat and things just get worse for them. But mind you, this video wasn't about saying that, oh, maybe you shouldn't be a furry VTuber. The point of this kind of is telling you kind of like the realistic aspects of it. Like, there's a chance that when you do this, or for most people, you're not going to blow up. You're not going to get 10,000 subs in like 3 weeks. This is not how that works. Because mind you, I'm pretty close to 500 subs, right? After a year of work, I've been working my ass off on this channel and then they come in with new ideas. And mind you, I love this. You know, this is great. I have a little bit of income from it. Thank you so much to the, you know, the patrons and stuff and people that want to support me. But maybe don't expect to hit like 100K or a mil or 10K in like a couple months to a year. Cause you'll be so disappointed. Because that's not what YouTube is. And I know a lot of people say YouTube is luck. I've heard that so many times. I heard so many people say YouTube is luck. It's not. It's actually skill. Lots and lots of skill. And if you don't have any skill in video recording and editing and setting up titles, or at least creatively putting words together, or your vocabulary in general is just not that great, at least like when it comes to the vocabulary part, get some tools to help you. You can do that. There are tools and things that can help you with YouTube. You can use different like AIs to help you with like your titles, not the video part. I do not support AI being used in making videos. I'm sorry, I don't. I like everything to be completely made by the user and uploaded by the user themselves. I hate AI. I never use AI in anything I do. But yeah. There are tools that you can use to help you. AI is not really a tool unless you're using it for things like words in your titles and stuff like that. Yeah, it's more of a tool. But using it for the video itself, I don't see it as a tool. So that immediately ruled out for me. I don't support it. I kind of hate it, actually. But yeah. That's kind of all I have for now. If there's anything you guys would like me to talk about in the future, let me know. Because I am pretty interested to see in what kind of goes on in y'all little goofy goobers' minds. What questions you got for me? Because I'm ready to answer them, you know? Or to the best I can answer them, because I don't know everything. Anyways, have a good rest of your day or night or wherever you're from. I'm going to go now. Peace.